Because Siddha Sanmarga has a goal of huge number of people that should be initiated into this state of being by 2012 December 21st. And this is a mission that we have, because people should be more in being than in doing, because doing is not spirituality at all. And when they are being this light that I was talking about, this Anut Jyoti, my Guru Bhagwan Sri Swami Ramalinga was born in Tamil Nadu, in a place called Chidambaram. When he was born, shortly after he was born, he lost his father. The elder brother had to take the responsibility. He pressed him a lot for education, study, because that's what generally people do. But this man was not interested. So elder brother threw him out of the house, and then Bhabi, the brother's wife, is always good generally. So she went and negotiated, for my sake at least, please study. Okay, for your sake. He came back home. The moment he came back home, this 5-year-old, 6-year-old kid asked his elder brother for a bunch of papers and a pen. He gave him. He went into the room, closed the room, and after 3-4 hours came out of the room, and he handed over that bunch of papers filled with a beautiful poetry. And then the first verse, which was in Sanskrit, that 5-year-old, 6-year-old wrote in Sanskrit. The first verse said, "You gave me the essence of all education. Then what more interest should I ever have in this something called education? Because you, the education of all educations, have given yourself to me, the essence of education." That was the first verse. So you understand the depth of his spiritual insight at that age. And this man grew up practically not with a lot of education actually. He never actually studied, but he is still known for his beautiful poetry in Sanskrit and in Tamil. And at the age when he was around 30-35, and at that time, he used to cover his entire body with a white cloth and only eyes visible, because the entire body was transmuted and people could see through his body. And in verse, one of his poetry that he earlier wrote, he always used to say, "God, you have given me that golden hug by which you have given me your own grace light, and that day by day, in every way, transmuted every cell fiber of me, every cellular fiber within me, and I have become that what you are, the beauty divine, the grace of infinite." That's what one of his poetry talks about. So he transmuted his mind. In Sri-Vidya, I was talking about this dwara, this 9 dwara, the darshan dwara, the spirituality, the chakras. There is also, another dimension. If you consider Sri-Vidya as a single mono dimension, then it is absolutely a wrong thing. Because the world is made up of a mono-dimensional string of particles called quarks, which are arranged in multi-dimensional fashion. Actually, if you understand quark theory. So, the point I am trying to mention is, the Sri-Vidya is a third-dimensional, this Mahameru is a third-dimensional representation. The Sri Chakra is a mono-dimensional representation. But this mono-dimensional quark or Sri Chakra is arranged in a multi-dimensional fashion. You see, the Mahameru is a third dimension. There are so many dimensions to it. So, the other dimensional aspect of the Sri-Vidya sadhana, they say, we have the Sapta Dhatus. Rasa, Rakta, Mamsa, Meda, Majja, Asti, Majja, Shukra. They are the Sapta Dhatus. And above that is the Mana, the Chitta, Ahankara. Mano, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. The Ahankara is the Dasham Dwara. Mano, Buddhi, Chitta are this 7, 8, 9, and the Chitta and then the Ahankara are both merged, the Tripareshwari appears in the Dashandvara. I think you understand my point. So this Dhatu or this, the Chitta means the lymph or something there, and the muscles, bones, the bone marrow, the sperm and the ovum, all this also have a part in, all these are integral part of Sri-Vidya sadhana. So, when you do Sri-Vidya sadhana, purification of all this has to happen from a very cellular level. So, this great master, the Infinite One, achieved or was blessed with this divine grace light. And this divine grace light, which has an alchemical property, transmuted every cell fiber of him, and then all the Sapta Dhatu and all the Mano Buddhi Chitta Ahankara are so purified that people could actually physically see through that personality, physical man. And after, when he was few years, around 40 years, his whole body was turned into light. When he used to remove his body, people used to just see a physical glowing thing and nothing else. So he used to cover his body and only eyes visible. But he was a great poet, he was one of the greatest. He had so melting heart that he used to look at compassion was what he is known for. Because he used to look at a dying crop, biannual, annual, there are different kind of crops. The paddy field, after a certain point, you kill it, you don't kill it, and you don't water it, you water it, dies. Okay. So that is the reason why eating paddy is not a big deal. Seriously. So, this crop naturally when dies, becomes brown, from the green to brown. This man used to say, oh, the crop is dying. He used to feel compassion for this dying plant, and he used to feel cry for it. He used to literally weep. That was the level of compassion that this great Guru Bhagavan Sri Swami Ramalinga had. For crops, he was so sensitive for everything, every creature on the planet. And this transmuted, this compassion, this grace light that he carried, transmuted, and he was like a physically glowing object of just light. At that stage, he tried to explain people a lot about this, the infinite truth, the supra-mental state of living, descent of divinity within the man. He was talking about a supra-mental state descending into this conscious plane and walking through that. People never could actually understand. He was one of the most forerunners of this fourth dimensional sadhana. This fourth dimensional sadhana is a very beautiful one, because the greatest, one of the biggest, and the difference between third dimension and fourth dimension is, in third dimension, everything appears in a perfect linear fashion. That is, you can remember if you are 40 years old, you can remember, I say your 31st birthday, then you might, 31st year of your life, you can remember an event, maybe. But if there has been an important event, you might have remembered it. But 25th year, there is an important event again. So I say, you remember that, you will remember that. Now I say, remember the 31st event, the 31st year's event and the 21st year event simultaneously. No, either your mind can think about one event at a one point in time. Yes or no? You can't think about your 31st year's event and the 20th year's event simultaneously. Because your memory is stacked in one after the other. The file of the memory is stacked one after the other. Okay? But in fourth dimension, the memory is stacked one after the other. And so, you can actually see all memory in a lateral fashion. So, what is the big difference between third dimension and fourth dimension? No physical thing changes, it's the mind that changes. Dimension belongs to the limitation of your mind. Growing out of this limitation is what growing in dimension means. Growing out of your limitation is what growing out of your own limitation your own self is what spirituality is. Tapping your own potential is what spirituality is. Then how to tap your own potential? Not to acquire by acquiring positive energy, by overcoming your own limitations of your own mind. How to overcome the limitations of your own mind? By constantly observing your feelings and by doing a scientific sadhana, a proper sadhana instructed by the Guru. Both combined together get you to this state of being. You understood my point? So, this man did the sadhana, and that supramental state of being, the descent of the divine mind into this very own being, which is one of the highest states known. He was talking about that. But people were talking about his poetry, people were fascinated about his poetry, his body into light, because if you see a man just glowing like a light and no physical skin, bones, nothing, you really get fascinated about it. You don't, he doesn't have to say, I am a Swamiji. You straight away that he is a Swamiji. Yeah? So, and then you always want a blessing out of it. So, पहले गुरु लोग पूछते थे तुम्हारा तो what do you want in life? वो आपको चाहिए क्या है या सब. So, and people used to take advantage of it and say, because they always say in their set, ये चाहिए. कुछ भी नहीं आया. आएगा कैसे? क्योंकि कोई आदमी दे रहा ही नहीं. फाइंडिंग है, बेगिंग नहीं है. सो ऐसे ही तो ये भी ना, मैं फाइंडिंग की बात कर रहा हूँ, आप लोग टेकिंग की बात कर रहे हो, ये हो सकता नहीं, बल्कि उसको गुस्सा आ गया. He really got irritated because I am talking about finding things in your life already existing, and you are talking about taking things, wanting things, getting blessed, which is the opposite direction. So you guys are not understanding me, so I am leaving. He went into a room, closed himself, locked himself from inside out, said lock it from the outside, so nobody should come in. All room is locked. It's a small hut. It's still there in the place. And after some time, everybody saw a physical light passing through the roof of the hut into the sky. Even Britishers, at that point in time, even Britishers, the British army officials staying in India, because at that time India was in the control of the British. India was a colony of British, right? So, even they saw it. And after some time, they got it out. What happened? They opened the door, inside out, they broke the door, they went inside, not even clothes. Body, clothes, everything went off. Everything transmuted into light energy, and light energy mixed with eternal divine energy. Love, will and light, he converted that light, brought into that